Memorial Day weekend officially kicks off the summer box office, starting with the series to big screen adventure Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu.
Oh no, Disney Star Wars is cratering, my friends, collapsing in the saddest display of Disney Star Wars going wrong. The franchise, my friends, is continuing its death rattle, as the latest movie, The Mandalorian Grogu, what a stupid name, craters in its second week at the box office with a 70% drop in revenue. This is crushing news for Disney, my friends. This now means that the movie will almost certainly lose tens of millions of dollars for the studio, if not more, and it's showcasing just how far gone the Star Wars franchise is, just how broken it has all become. And all for no reason other than a bunch of a-holes, Kathleen Kennedy at the helm, determined to turn it into the Force is female. And adding a bunch of other stuff that people didn't want.
Put a chicken in and make her name it gay!
What was once the biggest name in movie history can barely get any kind of cheeks in seats at all. In fact, it's so bad now that YouTubers are outperforming the Disney franchise.
Yes.
There is no chance that this film recovers its budget. You have $165 million that they spent on production. Then they likely had to spend about $100 million in marketing. So you're looking at somewhere between $265 and $300 million to get this movie to the theaters and to get people in there. Now, in America, studios keep roughly 50% of sales of tickets, but they only get about 30 to 40% internationally. So according to insiders like The Hollywood Reporter, they say that the film is going to need somewhere between $500 and $600 million worldwide to break even theatrically, which does not seem like it's going to happen now. This movie is going to have a difficult time even scraping in $400 million now. It could be as low as 320, maybe 350 million. If they're lucky, maybe 400, 420. I've seen people suggest maybe it'll get to 500, but I don't see how that's going to happen at this point. Realistically, I think here in the States, you're going to see somewhere between like $150 and $200 million domestic at the end of its run. And international, if they're lucky, maybe another 80 to 120 million more. So my guess is somewhere between $340 and $420 million worldwide. And if that happens, then you are looking at a clear theatrical loss, a gigantic failure, a gigantic flop for Disney. Even though this movie had a lower budget than Solo, which was the worst performing Star Wars film of all time, they're still bound to lose a lot of money. And now the movie is being beat out by two low-budget horror films. Now, the reason why this is such a big deal, my friends, is that unlike previous Star Wars shows, like The Acolyte, which was a clear attack on the fans and had no reason why people would even go to see it, the gayest Star Wars ever.
I want to ask you both because this is, I would say, arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. And are you excited about that? Are you bracing yourself?
Star Wars. Not the
It's pretty gay, let's be honest.
But in this case, the folks that actually went to go see The Mandalorian Grogu are giving it really high reviews. Rotten Tomatoes has shown an 88% rating. This is the highest for any Disney Star Wars film. So that means that people who went to go see it were already heavy Mandalorian fans. And yet the movie is still collapsing. That 70% drop off in weekend 2. This suggests that the problem isn't the movie itself being broadly rejected by the audience that is actually going to watch it. It is instead, in fact, indicative of the brand damage that Disney has done to the Star Wars franchise. They have been attacking the fans for decades. They have been doing everything that is antithetical to what Star Wars stands for in every Star Wars project that they put out. This means that there is nothing that Disney can do right now in the theater that will bring people back to watch Star Wars. No, what this is targeted fatigue of the Disney Star Wars franchise. Star Wars is still beloved, but everything Disney does with it is poison, and the audience knows this. The fan base knows this. There has been agenda pushing, the LGBTQ plus barbecue pushing, the lore disrespect, the alienating of core fans that has gone on since the very first Disney Star Wars film, where they wouldn't even put the original characters together because reasons. The Star Wars franchise has long been male-dominated. We have seen that consistently 60 to 70% of the audience has been male, and they were driven out by Disney. The Force is female and all that other crap that they put into their slop.
Weird.
Ever since Kathleen Kennedy came out with that, the Force is female, you knew the writing was on the wall. And that was all the way back in 2017, 2018. They, of course, try to push it as broadening the appeal, but they did so in alienating the core audience. They weren't broadening it, they were reducing it by getting rid of the male fan base. But they didn't care. They wanted to take this away from you. They just thought that you would suck it up and take it. And for a while, people did. But not anymore. So, I don't know. I mean, Star Wars was one of my all-time favorite movies. I grew up with it. I loved it. But there's nothing to see in it now. There's no reason to go to see Mandalorian and Grogu. What the hell were they thinking? My guess is not a lot.